Sagittarius, are you ready for this October energy? Let's get you there. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for the month of October. And I want to say to you, Sagittarius, is OMG. It's going to be a pretty big month. So without further ado, we are going to pull an overarching theme card for you from the Sweet Ass Affirmations 2 from Rage Create, and then the Out of Hand Tarot called to me for you guys from Jamie Sawyer. So it's going to be a great reading. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's shuffle these bad boys up and see what is coming up for you guys. You know, I feel like the temperature of the weather is going to be mild to medium throughout the month, and I feel like for you it's going to affect you in a couple of different ways. Oh, this makes sense. I release all that I owe with my abundance mojo. This makes a lot of sense because I feel like there is something that you fundamentally need a reset on. And we just got through sort of peak eclipse season. So definitely we are in reset energy. I'm not trying to be so on the nose about that. But I feel like for you guys in particular, there are some physical things that need clearing up. So maybe it's financial, maybe it's your physical place of residence, maybe it's clothing, that you need to clean out the closet or clear out the closet. Maybe it's a health journey that you're needing to take in order to address certain things. I definitely feel like this is a month that's going to bring reality right to your doorstep. And it's not going to let you get away with not facing or not looking at a thing or doing a thing, so to speak. So definitely feeling here like the I release all that I owe with my abundance mojo is an invitation for you to be vibing higher, getting into that high vibe frequency so that you are in alignment with the path that you're trying to get to. And to do that, we have to make sure that our energetics are clear. And sometimes you can't get a clear energetic space if your physical space is cluttered, if your body is cluttered or is not working properly. If you've got too many sort of physical considerations or 3D world considerations, this is the month for you to, I want to say, clear away all the clutter in that regard, so that I want to say you're pure of heart, pure of thought, pure of soul. All right, the present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? 10 of Cups. So this is what you have been working hard for, the ideal outcome, right? The most exciting outcome that you could imagine. And I feel like a lot of you, there's been a lot of manifestation work. There's been a lot of energy work to get here. But what you have maybe missed the boat on a little bit is there is some clutter that energetically has been getting in the way of being able to fully embrace and embody this. That feels really important. I feel also like when we're talking about this 10 of Cups energy, you really are craving a new beginning. Tens are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. And I feel like the new beginning is coming, but there does feel like something new can't come in until this other stuff is cleared up. So I really do feel like October is going to be a month where you're going to be challenged or opportunityed, however you want to say that, to really suss out those areas where it is interrupting your mojo flow. I feel like that's really important. Also, for some of you, I do feel a little bit of this card often represents family. I feel that there is going to be a bit of a family hiccup, not for all of you, maybe for about 2/3 of you. Feels like a family hiccup. So it does feel kind of like you're going to have to kind of like drop everything and run to come to the aid of someone, or there's going to be a situation where y'all need to have a little sit down and kind of talk things through as a family. How do we navigate this? How do we handle this? What role do you want to play? What part do you want to play? What responsibility do you want to take here? It's not going to derail you. I do feel that it is part of kind of that declutter and working towards being more in that abundant space. But I do feel that it's going to take a bit of an energetic toll. So, just be aware of that. I want to say give yourself a little bit of grace. Maybe plan for a little extra sleep where you can get it, or take the extra sleep where you can get it, because I feel like you will need a little extra as this sort of family hiccup kind of unfolds. This is the catalyst. What's fueling or hindering your transformation? Is this resistance or rocket fuel? Here we have the Hierophant. Again, you're craving a lot of new and different, but I do feel that there's a lot of old and traditional and, like things and stuff. When I think about the traditional Hierophant, he's sitting there, with the gold, and he's got the keys, and he's wearing the gold Pope's hat, and there's sage burning, and there's just a lot. And I mean, like, even just looking at all the things that he wears, the clothing that the Pope is wearing, he looks heavy. He looks burdened almost with all of that. And yet, pomp, very, in some ways the Hierophant can come across as a bit egotistical, anyway, you get my point. You get the drift. This card in particular, I'm feeling is suggesting to you that maybe it's time to create a new formula. Maybe it's time to release some of this other stuff, releasing some of the gold, some of the material things that are weighing you down. Because remember, material items take on energy. They are energy, their own form of energy, and they can also take on the energies of their wearers or their owners or the people that they serve. And so I feel like this is just really going to be an opportunity for you to recognize where tradition and things that you've been doing or having for a really long time are really, quite frankly, no longer serving you, or they need a facelift. They need a different approach. And that's what I feel is happening here. Is you've got the Hierophant who's trying to figure out a different formula. I want to do this a different way. I want to break out of the tradition, but I still want to honor I don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There still is good from the past or from the old or from tradition. There is definitely good, but there can also be better. There can also be enhanced. And I feel like that is, I'm going to call it a catalyst for you, not a blockage, but a catalyst for you this month. Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Yeah. So again, this is a general reading, and I don't want to say to you that all of you have been in a creative slump, but I want to say there's been, degrees of disappointment in terms of what you've been able to create. Some of this is on the nose, very obvious ways that we try to create things, creating things in our jobs, artistically creating things, creating friendships. But this can also be, I want to say, in those more esoteric veins, creating a positive workspace, creating an environment where, I'm just going to use this as the analogy because food is my thing, creating an environment where I don't eat shit that I'm not supposed to eat. If I'm not supposed to eat the cookies, don't bring the cookies into the house. Right. I feel like there's been this, I want to say maybe there's been this energy of can't figure out why there's a little bit of self-sabotage, why there's, 3/4 success and then 1/4 kind of fallen off the wagon, or not being able to reach the finish line, and not quite understanding why you don't have the motivation or the desire or the resource to be able to do that. And I feel like this Page of Cups is coming through to say, this part of you has been ignored a little bit. It's time to go into the imagined space. It's time to, I want to say, throw a little spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. That's kind of the energy of what I'm getting here with the Page of Cups. I also feel like when we're looking at this person, opened the bag and put the fish in a cup. This is clearly too small of a space for this fish to find happiness, to be able to thrive. And I mean, who knows where this person is going to go? Maybe they're taking the cup and they're going to put it in a bigger bowl or an aquarium or something like that. But just on first glance, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it going, this is almost like the energy of a child who thinks this is magical, but doesn't have enough experience or knowledge to recognize that the very thing that they're trying to admire and enjoy and all the rest of it, they're already kind of causing a bit of harm with. So I feel like this is about really getting clear on what is working for you and what is not working for you, and how you can step a little more into that creative flow and make sure that you've got a bigger bowl to swim in. Don't play small. Don't allow anyone else to keep you small. I don't know why, but I think someone needs to hear that message. And if it's you, please feel free to put something in the comments about it, because that was just oddly specific. It was almost like painful to spit out. I'm sure it was painful to listen to. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Ace of Swords. Interesting. Yeah. Trying new things, having new ideas, and noticing that those new ideas don't really get a chance to go anywhere. They don't go far. I want to say, I feel like you're tired of potential. You're tired of giving others the benefit of the doubt. You're tired of waiting for others for the others to rise into their potential. It's really interesting. I almost feel a bit of like disappointment, almost a bit of defeat when I'm tapping into this. And what's good about it is that it has run its course, and it's moving through you now, and it's moving away and onto something else. But I do feel like it's important for you this month to pick up the sword and to cut through the cords of all of that, that this is representing to you at this time, because I feel like it's been a moment in time. It's been a significant and an important moment in time, but it's a moment in time and it's now in the past. So you've gotten from it what you need, and now you can move forward. So take the very thing, that potential that you're disappointed that others haven't really picked up and run with. Take that potential and use it to cut the cords so that you now can feel free to move on and to expand into more of that, creative flow, that creative energy. Wow, that's really interesting. I also feel like, for you Sages, there's a lot of energy around, you guys are the truth tellers of the zodiac sign, right? Like, no bullshit. You pull no punches. You don't hold back. What's interesting about this is I feel like there's been a level of maybe maturity in the way you're choosing to communicate, or in some cases not communicate with those that can't reach their potential or choose not to reach their potential. Almost like you are cutting people out faster maybe than you used to, or you're recognizing when it's time to cut someone out because you recognize the futility of, the dynamic for you. And I feel like you want to see this as a success. You're going to have some people around you saying, wow, like that's harsh, or, give that person a chance, or you hardly gave that person a chance. I want to say, go with your gut. Go with your gut on this. I feel like this is really, in the grand scheme of things, a success. All right, this is your highest phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is breakthrough energy. Ooh, your second ace. Interesting. Look at so we've got Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Page of Cups. So these are both like new beginning things, and 10 of Cups. So it's an emotional month. You're dealing with your own emotions around other people. The emotions that arise for you when you are interacting with other people, and sometimes in some cases it's going to feel like disappointment. So rising from the ashes, the Ace of Cups is beautiful because it is an initiation into a new state of being. We could even say a new state of feeling. And I love this because I feel like this is what you have been kind of craving, like we said, with that 10 of Cups. This is what you were kind of hoping for, but it hasn't really turned out the way you wanted it to. So now you get the opportunity to have a do-over. And I feel exactly like that's why the Phoenix is coming up here, is as you're processing through all of this month, when you come out the other side, there is going to be and I see for you, like here we've got like 5 different paths that are being created. I'm seeing for you 2 different paths this month. You come out the other side of this and there are going to be 2 distinct paths for you to take. Either you're going to choose the path of this career or this job or this company or that one, or you're going to choose this relationship over that relationship, or you're going to choose this school to go to over this school to go to. I feel like there are going to be opportunities that present themselves and a choice that needs to be made based on literally starting a complete new journey. Could be that you're moving, you're relocating. But whatever this journey is, or this, sort of this choice is, it is a choice that puts you square on a new path, a path that you've not been on before, or a path that you have not finished or followed through to the end before. And it feels bigger. It feels significant and substantial. I really like this because it's almost like letting all of this stuff go really opens you to the thing that you couldn't have really imagined on your own unless you had done all of this stuff. It's like it's going to come out of the dissolution of this and step into this. You got to let go of those things in order to be open to the abundance. Really interesting. Okay. Next step. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support this next phase? Wow. Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness. Definitely you're starting something new. So I think I just talked about this, seeing that you were going to have 2 distinct choices, 2 distinct options. This card for me, when it comes up, I usually talk about it. Most of the time I talk about it as this can be the card of a choice between shit sandwich A and shit sandwich B. Sometimes neither choice is ideal or, really tasteful. But in order to get unstuck, in order to move forward, you got to just make a choice, right? None of us wants to have to go that way, but sometimes you got to just do it to get to the other side. And then, you can complain about it later, but at least you're moving forward. I do feel that this is what you're going to see this as, this option or this choice that I kind of talked about. Initially, you're going to see it as, why can't I have it as a both and rather than an either or? But I do feel on the other side of it, the message that's coming up here is don't get distracted by things that don't really matter. Focus instead on the intuitive part of the choice that is being offered to you. Because I do feel that there's going to be a big intuitive component to this. This is a big transformation for you. This is leading you into a new transformation. This is what you've been waiting for. It's like you've been in the phoenix growing phase for a little while, which is like the womb, and there's not a ton of vision and you don't really know exactly where you're going. Now there's movement, but you've got to make that choice, right? So I definitely feel that this is going to be opening up the intuitive pathways. You just need to trust it and don't allow distraction to get in the way of you making the choice. I feel like that's what that is all about. You in this process, how are you navigating your own transformation? Are you resisting? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Oh my God, another 2. Wow. Can't make this shit up, guys. Okay. So I feel like for you, what you're really seeking is a bit of support, a bit of camaraderie, someone to see you and understand that this hasn't been easy. You don't need someone to make the decision for you. In fact, I feel like that would annoy the crap out of you. But I do feel like there's a component here of you wishing that you maybe had a little more connection with 1 or 2 people in your life that you could kind of lean in to and say, I've got this choice to make. I'm feeling distracted all over the place, or I'm wishing that it was something better. Like every choice, it's like, okay, it's got 3 things that I absolutely love and 1 thing that I absolutely hate. And the other one has the same thing. So I don't know which way to go, right? Like if I could combine the 2 of them, it would be great, but I can't, right? Like that's not what's on offer. That's not what's on the table right now. I also feel with this 2 of Cups that there is a component here of creating a new plan, building a plan. Like, yes, you've made the choice, but now you've got to come up with a plan to be able to navigate that choice. And part of that plan, I feel, is in you not necessarily wanting to do it as a solo journey. Even though I feel that there's a big component of it for you that is solo, you're looking to have a little bit of support or companionship along the path and along the journey. I feel like this is, if you get into a flow and a rhythm with this, I feel that this will happen organically. But if you are holding back, waiting around for someone to kind of come up and say, oh yeah, I'll be your strength, or I'll be your companion, or I'll help you out with this, you'll be waiting until the cows come home. So I definitely feel like the choice needs to be yours, and the plan needs to be yours. And as you are formulating the plan, because there is an initiation here, as you're formulating the plan to head in that direction, I do feel that partnership, or that companionship, or that assistance is going to show up, but it's going to show up in divine timing, not your timing. So I want to say, just be in flow, find the flow. I wouldn't say you're necessarily grieving here, but I would say that there is a certain level of maybe sadness or disappointment that you've come this far and you thought at this point there would be a little more support. But here you are having to make some of these choices by yourself. I feel like, the support is on its way. The support is going to happen when you're in flow. So don't get too mired down in what isn't. Focus instead on what can be. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it a positive or a negative influence for you at this time? Oh my God, another ace. That's 3 aces. Wow. Yeah. Sagittarius. October is just, it is a brand new month for you. It is brand new. You're going to be doing all sorts of new. And there's a lot of emotion involved in this. It's going to be important for you to plant seeds that can actually grow. You're going to need to do your level best to remain grounded, because I feel like you're going to be all over the map. So remain grounded, go out and do grounding practices. If yoga is your thing, do yoga. If, talking to the animals is your thing, go talk to the animals. Like whatever it is you need to do. And I feel like you want to kind of maybe set the tone now as you're watching this video, that every day for at least 5 minutes, every day, you're going to ground and center yourself. And I would say do it in the morning, like do it as you're getting your day ready routine. Do the grounding then. And as a bonus, for bonus points, do it before you go to bed at night too, just to make sure that you're grounded and you can really sleep well. But this card here, I feel like all the seeds that you're planting, all of the opportunities that are presenting themselves right now, that really is the circle of support that you're dealing with. And I also feel like you've gotten rid of, you're in the process of getting rid of all of these things. And it's almost like all the things that you get rid of, now you're handed the exact thing that you need. And it's all condensed. Like when we look at all of the little money coins on this tree, if you were to melt them all down and create one big cookie, it might look like this, right? So I feel like this Ace of Pentacles, the circles of support really isn't about people as much as it's about what are you willing to release, to give away, to reset, to repurpose, because it's going to come back to you in a bigger form, and it's going to come back to you in a form that you really need, but it's not going to come to you unless you actually kind of release it and let it go. So I feel like that Ace of Pentacles, again, aces are new beginnings, fresh starts, but they're also a nothing burger unless you apply it, because it's all about potential, and potential needs action in order for it to thrive, to become all that it can be, right? Interesting. Okay, I missed something. No, I didn't. Yeah, that was support system. Okay. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Oh my God, and another page. Oh, again, 11s. Pages are 11s. So 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 2s. Actually, you could say pages. If you're going to break down the 11, you can break it down into a 2 as well. So, it's the plan. It's the creation of the plan, walking through the plan. It's the new plan. Okay, so Page of Swords. The feeling here, I feel, is like when you start something new, you're afraid you're not going to know how to finish it. You're afraid that you're going to put your heart and your soul into it. You're going to be all in. You're going to be so gung-ho and fully inspired and all in. And someone's going to come around and pee on your parade. And I feel like here with the Page of Swords, it's important for you to step into more of a space of enthusiasm and curiosity. Yes, there's a component of intelligence. There's a component of research that you can do. But I want to say this is less about doing research and more about really tuning into, yes, this is kind of like a new thought, but I want to say like it's inspired thought, right? Like Ace of Swords is an inspired thought. It's something new that's coming into your path. And the page says, ooh, that sounds like fun. Let me do a little bit of exploration. Let me see if this is an idea that is of value. And I feel like this is kind of where you're at, is you're making this choice. You're in the process of making this choice. You're heading to that Ace of Cups, the initiation space. You want to make sure that what you're doing is going to be worthwhile. And I feel like this is saying to you, you're doing the research. You've done the research. You're about to announce it. You're about to make it real. You're about to kind of tell people. And, when we speak a thing into being, it becomes. So it's like you're keeping this on the DL until you have really decided, okay, this is really what I want to do, or I'm ready to do this. There's fear around this. There's fear that you're going to make the announcement and then you're going to fall flat on your face, or you're going to have egg on your face on the other side of it, or you're going to get to the other side of it and realize that this was never the path in the first place. So I feel like the hopes and fears, this is you being hopeful about making the announcement. This is also you fearful about making that same announcement. And I'm going to say both things can coexist at the same time. I'm going to say choose to lean into the hope. Choose to stick with the visioning that you've done. Choose to follow the plan. Plans can always be tweaked. on the way. Plans can always be tweaked, but at least you've got something, to get you started, rather than ruminating, spinning in your head. It's better out than in. That's what I'm feeling on this one. Wow. Okay, Sagittarius, this is your final card. The outcome of the transformation, if you stay on course for October. Who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Oh my God, another 2. The High Priestess. So this is the journey of you releasing the illusion, the idea of illusion of control of anything that we have going on in our lives, as far as being able to stop things, being able to shift or change things that are kind of fundamentally part of the blueprint. And this is you tapping into what you absolutely can control, what you absolutely can count on, which is your connection to source, your connection to your guides, your connection to intuition, and the psychic realm, the spiritual realm. And I feel like on the other side of this, in October, we talked about kind of 2 journeys. You're taking a quest. One quest gets you to the one place, and then you've got the next place, right? This, I feel here with the High Priestess, is saying to you, yes, this new beginning is going to be successful. And by the end of October, if you have leaned into this, you are going to be ready to receive more clarification, more clarified guidance and information around how you are growing and opening up on this path. But you can't do any of that until you go through this 1 and 2 process. And of course, this is the major arcana. So this is the highest 2 in the tarot deck, right? So you got to go through all of these aces and pages and all of the other 2s in order to get you to the big guns. And the big guns is the High Priestess. And this is where you're going to begin to trust yourself again. This is where you're going to be able to expand your vision and really be able to leave your mark in the ways that you've always wanted to leave it here on planet Earth, here with your fellow human. This is what October is setting you up for. And I want to say you got to be brave in getting through those beginning steps. And Sagittarius, sometimes you have a hard time beginning things. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get into the swing of things, especially if there's no guarantee that you're going to get what you need on the other side of it. But I really feel like the High Priestess is a big enough prize. When you see this is like, oh yeah, all of this other stuff is going to so be worth it to get to this, where I'm a conduit. I'm receiving clear divine guidance. And that clear divine guidance opens me and expands me into this next venture that I've chosen, the next path. And I kept seeing 2 paths. Number 2. So 2 is your number. 1s and 2s actually are your numbers for this month. All right. Wow. Sagittarius, that is your transformational tarot for this October. As always, if I can be of any assistance to you while you are doing this crazy wild ride called life this month, please click on the link below and book a session with me. I'd love to connect. Otherwise, until then, I hope you enjoy this month. Have the most amazing one. We will see you on the flip side, and transform well.